Hello and welcome to the Women's Technology Council Leadership Video Series. My name is Julia Donahoe and I'm in my final year in the M.B.A program here at New York Tech. With me here is Edie Weiner, President and CEO of the Future Hunters, a leading futurist consulting firm. As a corporate leader, author, and speaker, Edie's expertise is frequently sought after. Edie, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Fabulous to be here with you. Delighted.
Wonderful. You have worked with over 400 clients, identifying and analyzing long-term trends that impact business. What would be your advice to a young professional in terms of being innovative and presenting new ideas in the workplace?
You know, innovation is an interesting word. There are things that are tweaks on things that existed already, and some people call that innovation. And then there are completely new ideas that are shot out of somewhere else and lead to something completely different. And the risks you take and the way you present both of those tend to have to be quite different. Because if you have what you think is an innovative idea that's building on something that is already there, well, then you can easily present it in the course of however you would be presenting ideas in a meeting or to your boss or to your peers or whatever. But if you have an idea that is completely different, you have to do a lot of homework. And that homework is knowing what the objections are going to be and solving those problems before you present the idea. Let me give you a terrific example of that. There's a woman, Stephanie George, who was a very senior executive at Fairchild Publications. And Fairchild Publications had Women's Wear Daily and W Magazine. And we're going to go back decades ago when W Magazine looked like any other magazine on the rack. And they were looking for a publisher for W. It wasn't doing all that well. And Stephanie was one of the executives in their group of management. And so they tapped her to be the interim publisher while they looked for somebody to take over W, to publish W. Stephanie had an innovative idea about what W should be. And so she was excited and chomping at the bit. She walked into the next board meeting with a mock-up of the publication that you now know as W. It was very, very tall, thick, very glossy, thick pages, very expensive looking, didn't look like any other magazine anywhere on the newsstand. And the board said to her, "Honey, that's very interesting, but it's not going to work. It's too big to put in the boxes that ship magazines. It's not going to fit on the newsstand racks. Nobody is going to want to have anything that big, that fat. Look, sweetie, you're just the interim publisher. It's a cute idea, but don't worry about it." And she said, "No, you don't understand. I have already sold $10 million of advertising against this mock-up." And they said, "Honey, you're the publisher." So basically, she just took power. She knew what she wanted to do in terms of innovation. She solved the problems before they arose because she knew there were going to be all kinds of objections. And she basically said, "I'm already making you money on this mock-up. It's working. It's going to work." And that's why it looks the way it does today. And that's moving to the topic of power. That's a critical topic. There are a lot of people who believe that the better your title, the more power you have, or the more you are empowered by someone, the more power you have. I want to debunk both of those right now. First of all, the word empowerment, what does that mean? It means that someone else has given you power to do something. That means that someone else can take it away whenever they want. That means you don't have any power. You have permission. There's a big difference, a big difference. Power is what you take. No title, no advancement, no person can give it to you. In whatever position you're in, you need to learn how to take your own power. And that's what Stephanie did. She took her own power. It's what I've done throughout my entire career. So you just have to learn in so many different situations. If you want to innovate, and it's really an innovation, it's not just a little bell or a whistle on something else. You have to solve all the problems, think it through, take the power, know what risk you're taking, be comfortable in your vision, in your passion, in your decision. And it will work. And if it doesn't work, you look yourself in the mirror the next day and you say, what did I actually risk in doing this?
Edie, I love what you said about the dynamic between power and permission. Is this something that you kind of learned all on your own, or did you have any mentors that kind of helped guide you and help you learn these types of things?
First of all, I attribute a lot of who I am and what I do to the fact that I grew up in foster homes. And when you grow up in foster homes, you learn very quickly, and I did from the age of 3, that everyone has their own reality, their own rules, their own way of looking at something. So even if you're in the same borough, in the same city, with people who are the same age, of the same religion, they completely have different points of view. And you can either lose yourself to contradictions and people who are so sure that they know everything, or you build some faith in yourself that you know how to tell the difference between what is a constant truth and what's just in somebody else's reality. So to a certain extent, universally, I think we all bring something to the party innately in terms of who we are. And we have to recognize that. You have to come to your own power. You have to learn, especially in a world of misinformation, disinformation, and tunneled information, and blinders, and echo chambers. You really have to learn how to come to your own power center in what really makes sense. People have abandoned that. Critical thinking has declined. And that's so bad for us as we think about moving into the workplace and being successful in a career and in life. Critical thinking is so critical. That's why it's called critical thinking. And studies have shown that in many cases it declines after high school and it declines after college or university because we let ourselves be shut in by schools of thought and systems of belief and things that are just rote and regimented, and that's not how the world works. So to move to your question of mentors, a mentor is not just somebody who is in your line of interest, in your line of career. You will find mentors in every aspect of life if A, you look, and B, you take advantage. So many people are presented with opportunities to learn from fabulous people, and they don't ask or they don't take advantage of the give.
That's great. What is something, I'm curious, what is something that you wish you would have known at the start of your career?
Um, you know, I'm going to give you a very surprising answer, and
Okay.
that is nothing. Because if I had known certain things that I learned, I never would have done it. I never anticipated how difficult it would be um, to buck systems, to start my own business, the roller coaster of that. Oh, I mean, I've been doing futures work for 50 years. I've had my own company for 42. And it's really interesting how over the years I kept thinking, boy, if I knew it was going to be this hard, I would have just worked in a corporation. I would have just like had somebody give me a paycheck. I wouldn't have done this. But of course, then I wouldn't have done so many of the things that I did. The only thing that I probably wish I knew was how, if you stick to your own integrity, if you believe in yourself and you have persistence, you can be successful.
Trial and error. And
Yeah,
sometimes you have to fail to really understand and learn that lesson.
yeah.
What would be your advice to someone like me? Do you have any suggestions or for someone maybe who's uncertain about their career path at the moment?
What are you, as an example, defining as your area of expertise or career?
So I did my undergrad in graphic design and I'm currently in the MBA program. So I would
In
say graphic design is my focus and
Mhm.
business is what I'm striving to work toward.
Okay, offhand, I can tell you 10 fabulous career paths that
Great.
are
I'm
at the
ready.
innovative edge. First of all, we're going to get more into data imaging. So the
Mhm,
ability to graphically design data for business, for research, for whatever, that's going to be very big.
mhm.
Secondly, virtual life and virtual worlds. This isn't just about gaming anymore. Businesses are going to have to game out certain kinds of things, and they're going to have to do it with graphics. They're going to have to do it
Right.
digitally. They're going to do it in virtual worlds. It's the graphic artists and the people who are able to do animation who are going to bring those worlds to us.
Mhm.
Know that the future is completely open. The avenues of innovation and exploration are for you. You are the ones who will build it. You are the ones who will make it. We've gone so far, now it's for you. And for you to think in the lanes that were, why? They're already there. For
Mhm.
you to imagine, to ask stupid questions and come up with completely creative answers and say, wow, that's me. You can invent it, believe me. Take your graphics, take your business, invent stuff. Have a wonderful time. You know, just like enjoy this and know every day that you're just doing what you love and making a difference.
And I think that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you so much, Edie, for joining us. This has been such a pleasure. And you're such a great resource for the New York tech community. We really appreciate you sharing your thoughts and advice
It's
with
my
us today.
pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you.